When I was a boy, I was probably about 7 or 8, we used to visit this orphanage, which was right near where we lived. And often on a Sunday, we would pick up one of the children from the orphanage and bring them back for Sunday lunch. And I knew it was called a Muller home, but I didn't really know why or anything about it. And it was only years later I discovered it was started by this amazing man, George Muller, who'd come from Germany, come to Bristol in 1832 and had started an orphanage because he'd seen the need for children to be educated and housed who had no families. In the end, I think it was about 10,000 children he helped over his lifetime. And the other amazing thing about that was that he was an evangelist as well, alongside starting orphanages. And as an evangelist myself, I was interested in his story. Discovered that prayer also was a big part of what he did. So he never asked for money for the orphanages. He prayed and just found that the money and all that they needed came in. And then about 3 years ago, I was preparing a talk about Thy Kingdom Come, actually. And I was trying to find out about people who prayed for friends to come to follow Jesus, and discovered that George Muller was actually one of those people. And discovered this amazing story where he had decided, when he was about 35, to pray for 5 friends to become Christians. And he started praying for them. The first one became a Christian 18 months later. But after that, it was a really slow story. I think the next one was 5 years after that, then 6 years after that. And then the last 2, who were friends of one of his best friends, actually didn't become Christians till after his death. But he prayed for those people every day of his life, no matter what he was doing, for all those times. And I think George Muller, throughout the whole of his life and in everything he did, had an unwavering faith in the power of prayer. In fact, he talked about living in the spirit of prayer, and just believed that what he was asking for, God would answer in his own time. And I think that says a lot to us today about people we're praying for. And sometimes, after a year or 2 years, we're thinking, does this make any difference? But I think George Muller would want to say to us very clearly, it makes a difference. Keep on praying. In his words, it would be, I keep on praying because I know one day there will be an answer. So if we're praying for people to know the love of God, Muller would say, keep on praying for them. God is at work.